Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this look right here. And I did this purple look using the Colourpop It's My Pleasure palette. It's one of the palettes that I recently picked up and I've been loving. I actually went to a wedding earlier this week, and this is the look that I wore to the wedding. And you will not believe how many people reached out to me via Snapchat and via Instagram and were like, can you please show us how you did this look? And so here I am filming this look for you guys. And before we get started, don't forget to like this video for further content and also subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for today's look, I'm gonna be using that It's My Pleasure palette from Colourpop. It's so pretty. I just love the tones in here. I think this is beautiful on so many different eye colors, and I will show you guys the go-to purple look that I've been wearing. So before we start, I always add a primer, whether it's a concealer, a P. Louise base, or just an actual primer itself. And for today I'm using the Smashbox 24-hour primer. Pat that in, make sure it's all blended. Today's light is so strong, so I apologize. So I'm gonna go in with the color Kitten, which is right over here, with a fluffy blending brush, and we're just gonna go into the crease and just in windshield wiper motions just start blending. And with this color, I'm not really that precise. I just like it to be a little bit blown out. And what I do is I first get it on the brush, tap it in, like to deposit the color, and then I disperse it. Next, I'm gonna take a more tapered brush like this with the color Fan Fiction, which is right over here, and I'm gonna go just a tad bit below of what I just deposited, just to deepen up the eye look. And you see, I deposit it first, and then I start going and blending the two together. And I did say do not take it up that far up. If you have more lid space, of course you can. In my case, I can't because I have smaller, more hooded eyes. So depending on your eye shape, just go a tad bit lower. Now with no additional product, I'm just gonna take my brush and just go right a little bit above where I deposited the second color, and I'm just gonna blend the edges. And by blending them, it'll make sure that it's not just like two different shades. Now I'm going to take my small brush like this, which is from Morphe, and I will be going in with the color Sleeper, and I'm going to add that to the outer third. First, tap it on. This color is a little bit more powdery, so just deposit it first. And you can see I'm going kind of heavily with that because I will kind of bring it more into the crease as well. I feel like when you're adding a more darker color on the outer third, it defines your eye shape and it gives you a more cat eye look, and I love that. And with the same brush that we used before, I'm just gonna take this color and lightly, first of all, blend it out here, and then drag whatever's left on the brush into the crease. And this step does take a little bit longer, so you do have to pat it on, blend it, and then add in a little bit more, just depending on how much depth you want. As you blend away, the colors do lighten up a bit, so I just like to add a little bit at a time, make sure to blend it out. And you see, I don't go in all the way, I just, if I'm blending it, I just go in like this. Okay, and going back in with this. Like I said, do not put it in here, just right above, and just blend out the edges. Now for the next step, you can do it two ways. You can either cut the crease with some concealer or like a P. Louise base where you kind of cut it and clean it up, or you can do it just by adding a glitter glue and going in with the shimmer eyeshadow. Honestly, these don't really need a base, but the reason why I do a glitter glue is because I do have hooded lids, so I just don't want it to transfer anywhere. And for today's look, I will be using the glitter glue instead of cutting the crease. And the way I do that is I take a little bit on my hand right here, just tap it on my finger, and just apply it wherever you're gonna be placing that shimmer. It does not have to be precise, but it's just, I'm just applying this so that my base can be tacky, so that this beautiful shade right here, which is called Bare Minimum, will have something to stick to. Now I'm gonna go in with my MAC 242 brush and just start tapping it in. With shimmer shades, I do recommend tapping it in. It makes it much more vivid, it looks much prettier on the lids, and there's minimal fallout. The lid should look like this. I'm not bringing it all the way in because I'm gonna go in with a different shade, but let's do the next eye now. When I'm in a hurry, I love this technique more than cutting out my crease because I don't have to worry about whether I cut the crease perfectly, if they're matching the other side. I'm just good to go. And now I'm just gonna blend the two and make sure that it's even. I'm gonna go back into the shade Sleeper, which is this dark purple, and I just want to add a little bit to the ends over here just to deepen it up. And then with no product on this brush, I'm just gonna go right above and lightly blend. You don't want to blend too hard where the shimmer is because the shimmer will fall and it won't look as vivid. That's why I'm doing it very lightly right above to blend. Now for this area over here, which I've left bare, I want to go in with Mr. Sandman, which is this gorgeous color right here. I either go with this or this color, but I don't know, I kind of been preferring that lately. And I'm just gonna take the same brush, I use the purple side on this side, I'm just gonna flip it and use the other end. No need to get extra brushes dirty. And just tap it in. Now this is what you're gonna do next. With the other side where you had the purple, just take it and right where they meet together, just tap it over and blend the two colors. It's as easy as that. I went a little bit too high up here, so I'm just gonna take a brush like this. It has no product on it, and I just go in and I just kind of wiggle it in there, and it kind of takes away that that harsh line, and it also smooths it out. I'm gonna clean up all the fallout with my Sephora eye makeup remover, my Q-tip, and then we'll move on to the face. Working with shimmers, they can get a little bit messy, so I like doing my face after because I have the ability to wipe off the mess and move forward. Okay, so for today's foundation and primer, I'm gonna be using the YSL Touche Éclat Blur Primer sample that I have with my Water Blend Makeup Forever foundation. This is ultra light coverage, but I just don't want nothing heavy today, and it does look beautiful on. I applied the foundation and the primer. Honestly, like I said, this is very light coverage, but it does even it out, and I love wearing something like this that's light on days that I gotta run and I just don't want to feel like I'm wearing so much makeup. For my for under the eyes, I'm gonna use the Bendy Avocado Concealer, and I'm gonna set just the under eyes with the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder. Okay, so now that that's set, there you go. I did add a little bit of concealer on my little accident that I popped, but moving on to the cheeks. I am gonna be applying the Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush and Keep It Peachy. I really like this color. I just feel like it brightens up the face. I'm using a big powder brush like this, just tapped it in. And I first tap, because I did not set my foundation over here, I first tap and then I blend. Same thing with the other side, put it on the big brush, first tap and then blend. I only do this when I do not set my face with powder. Today I did not feel like setting my face because I am a little bit parched. And there you go, and you just blend that in. And sometimes I take a little bit of the blush and I just add it like a little bit to my nose, a little bit to my forehead, just to add me a little bit more color. I just feel like when you add foundation, you look so flat and matte, and I just want to add a little bit of sheen to my face. I'm not going to be doing a lot of bronzing because I'm kind of pale at the moment, but I will take my Milani Dulce Baked Bronzer that has a little bit of a sheen to it on the same brush, and I'm just gonna lightly, just lightly add a little bit of color. I'm like barely picking any up on my brush. For my brows, I'm going to be using my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, the Urban Decay Brow Blade, and a little bit of my e.l.f. Little Duo, and we'll move on to the rest of the eyes. So for underneath my brows, I want to use like a cream light color, but unfortunately the palette doesn't have a brow bone shade, so I'm gonna use one from a different palette that I have. And I just take a flat shader brush and apply. I don't want it to be like a stark white, but like a cream would do. For the lower lash line, you can do many things. The thing that I like to do is just put like a dark color and smoke it out. I love, if I'm gonna do a smoky eye on top, I usually like to smoke it out on the bottom. So for this, I'm gonna take a flat definer brush like this. This one is from Royal and Langnickel. I have one from MAC as well. And I'm gonna take the color Sleeper right here, and I'm just gonna tap it in. And you just look and you just tap this color as close as you can to your lash line. And I do not like to bring this all the way in because I feel like it closes off my eyes. Now for the next step, I'm gonna take this shade right here with this little fluffy brush and just tap it in once. I don't want too much product, or maybe twice. I don't want too much product. I'm just gonna take it and go a little bit right below the first shade and just blend it out and connect it to the top. For my lower lash line, I'm gonna use a purple liner. This one is from Lancome and is the Drama Liquid Pencil. I really like this because it's creamy, but once it sets, it does not move or go anywhere. So we'll be doing that. Now for the inner corners, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take a little bit more of Mr. Sandman with my little brush and just kind of lightly tap it in. There you go. Now I'm gonna set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And while that's setting, I'm gonna coat my lashes with some mascara. I finally ran out of all of my little mini mascaras, and out of all the ones that I've used, I really loved this one, which is the Maybelline Total Temptations. I got one a long time ago sent to me from Influencer, so I repurchased one for myself. Okay, so I applied my mascara and it looks like this. I'm gonna let it set for now, and I'm gonna apply some lashes. For my lashes, I'm using my favorite Ardell Demi Wispy lashes, but while the glue dries, we are going to use the Benefit Cheerleader Mini Bronze Palette. I love this. I really love this blush. I love Hoola. I have like over 3 of them so far, but the main reason why I got this is for this highlighter. Cookie is gorgeous, and that's what I am going to apply on my cheeks today. Like, it's so pretty. It's finely milled, and it doesn't show any of my texture. Let me take a brush, like a stiffer brush with no product, and I'm just blending it in. Oh, so gorgeous. Now that everything is done, everything's applied, I'm gonna take my little stipple brush, and I'm just gonna blend everything, making sure there's no like harsh lines, making sure that my highlighter and my blush are blended, that my bronzer is blended. Like I said, just to make sure that there are no harsh lines. That's what I love this baby for, and I never use any product on it. I just blend whatever's on my face. Okay, lashes are on. I did tight line them with a little bit of liner on top. I always do that. I don't know. I just feel like you can always see the lash band because this isn't the one that's a thicker lash band. So I just always like to cover it up. For the lips, with something this bold, I do like doing nudes. I usually do like a pop of color of a lip color when there's not so much on the eyes. I just feel like it kind of messes with it, in my personal opinion. So for this look, I'm gonna be using a nude. And for today's nude, I'm gonna be using the Colourpop Villains collection with Disney in the color Hades. I just did a Get Ready With Me recently, and I will link that above. I really like this lipstick. It's such a pretty nude, and it just looks gorgeous. But before we put that on, I'm gonna put the lip color in Tawny and then go in with that. This lip liner is from Jordana. It's like 2 something, and I love the formula. You can leave it like this. I just feel like it's still a little bit too dark of a nude. So in the middle, I'm gonna apply MAC Flesh Pot. It's just a very light nude. And I'm just gonna apply it to the center. I'm going to be a little bit extra and add my Lime Crime Wet Cherry Gloss in the color Naked Cherry, just in the middle. I don't want it all over the lips, just in the middle. And there you go. And there you have it. This is the look that I created with the Colourpop It's My Pleasure palette. I really love purple hues. I feel like purple tones complement many different eye colors, and when I wore this out recently, I got so many compliments on the ways my eyes look. As you saw, it's very easy. I know it may be kind of scary, but you have to trust the process. If you liked watching videos like this, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, bye guys.